Hey guys, this is your host Eric. Today we are going to watch action genre movie called Rocky 4. Spoilers ahead, turn on your subtitle, I greatly appreciate your support. Enjoy the video. The film begins with Rocky Balboa screaming in the third round of his rematch with Clever Lang. The monstrous fighter hits Balboa with punch after punch, but only the hero of Philadelphia is hurt. Suddenly, Rocky unleashes a barrage of punches, right hooks and bone-crunching left hooks into Lang's face, knocking the bruiser to the ground once and for all before leaping into the air. His honor and title. Following the match, Apollo Creed requests a favor. He made Rocky promise him that in exchange for training for the rematch together, the two aging greats would enter a small out-of-the-way gym so Creed could see for himself who was the better fighter. Hours later, they emerge battered and bruised, but happy for both of them. Their sparring match was supposed to be the last time either of them had to put on there. They appear to be ready to step away from the spotlight and enjoy the easy life of retirement. But appearances can be deceiving. When the champ returns home, he discovers his son Rocky, Jr., attempting to capture his uncle Paulie's birthday on videotape, concluding that Paulie has no real friends. Rocky decides to bring one in as a gift. He gives Paulie a household robot that can withstand any amount of nagging from Adrian's brother. He informs Paulie that the robot will serve him and do all of his work for him. Paulie, on the other hand, believes that a sports car would have been preferable to the robot. He then takes another cake and walks over to his wife, Adrian. Adrian is perplexed and inquires as to why he brought a cake for her. He tells her that they have been married for 9 years and that he wanted to express his gratitude for her support throughout everything he has gone through, so he thought the least he could do was bring her a cake. Adrian is overjoyed after hearing this. Rocky and his son then study various academic subjects using computer programs, and the champion is generally enjoying his new lifestyle. Creed, on the other hand, is growing increasingly dissatisfied. Spending the rest of his days fishing was not something he had planned to do. When he turns on his portable television, he sees a press conference being held by the newly arrived giant Russian amateur boxer, Ivan D. Drago, and his entourage. He hears the announcement of their intention to enter professional boxing. His eyes were ablaze. Creed rapidly. Rocky's is on the way. Rocky is surprised to see his former trainer, and even more so when Creed asks if he intends to fight. The Russian language. Rocky responds that he had no intention of doing so. Creed says great, and then tells him he has a fantastic idea. Meanwhile, Drago's manager, Igor Rimsky, takes great pride in showing the American press around the Giants' gym. The training room is spotless and antiseptic, resembling a laboratory rather than a place for athletes to work out. Rimsky continues, and how all of this contributes to their man's performance. Drago is hooked up to electrodes and computers and is waiting for an order. When asked what the end result of all this is, Rimsky responds that whatever he hits that night, he destroys. Creed tells the Rocky family about his plans to return to the ring for an exhibition match with the Soviet boxer, believing it will be a spectacular media event. Creed believes that this is America's golden opportunity to make Russia look bad. Adrian believes the real reason is that he can't stand being forgotten. Despite her objections, Rocky agrees to do his friend a favor and stand by him. Creed quickly calls his own press conference, but few people show up, and those who do are perplexed as to why an aging fighter who has been retired for 5 years would want to do this afterward. Rocky tries to cheer him up, even though he is beginning to suspect Adrian. Creed responds angrily, telling Rocky that he and Rocky are not like other people. He tells him that they will never be able to live normal lives because they are warriors, and without a fight, they may as well be dead. Creed and Rocky storm enter the Soviet training facility the next day, where Creed openly challenges Drago to a fight. A new press conference is soon to be held, with both Creed and Drago as the main attractions. Reporters are covering the announcement of this exhibition battle in droves, though they still hear more talk of patriotism and propaganda than boxing. Creed appears to be getting his way. Adrian expresses her displeasure to her husband, but Rocky feels compelled to support his friend. People see Rocky putting Creed through grueling exercises like running, jumping rope, and sparring all over Vegas. Rocky, on the other hand, has reservations and prefers to wait until they can complete a few more weeks of training and learn more about their opponent. Creed is adamant. This fight means a lot to him, and it will take place on the big night. Creed appears dressed as Uncle Sam, while Drago wears his usual hammer and sickle symbols. Tension fills the air, the bell rings, and Creed rushes out to slam into the giant, apparently without success. By the end of the round, the Russian behemoth is landing solid punches of his own, and they're all painfully on target, and things are looking bad for Creed. Rocky wishes to end the fight, but Creed, despite the punishment, refuses. The second round begins, and Drago is back. The American was brutally smashed to death. Rocky wants to know if he should quit, but Creed won't let him. The Soviet is stunned for a moment before diving heroically back into combat. but he begins launching blow after blow to Creed's head, nearly taking it off with one more punch, and Creed drops to the mat, never to rise again in the A. When speaking to the assembled media, Drago shows no remorse. He dies if he dies. Rocky is consumed with guilt in the days that follow, believing he allowed Creed to die. Rocky's eyes are clouded with vengeance, and Adrian warns him to let it go, but the champ is steadfast in his resolve. He approaches the United Boxing Federation about a fight with Drago, but they refuse because the Russian has yet to have one professional fight and is thus still considered an amateur. Rocky announces at a press conference that he is relinquishing his title and professional status in order to fight Drago. A date and location have been set. Training for the Philadelphia hero begins soon, and obstacles appear almost immediately. Adrian will not back his vengeance-seeking sportscasters, begin by posing provocative and insulting questions. Well-meaning patriotic supporters surround him almost constantly, and a couple of government agents concerned with national prestige even try to persuade him not to go ahead with it. Rocky finally decides to get away from it all by training in Russia. Adrian tries to talk Rocky out of it, but her husband is adamant, realizing that fighters are a different breed and there are certain things they must do. When Rocky, Polly, and Creed's old trainer Duke arrive in the Soviet Union, they are given a ramshackle barn in the desolate Russian countryside, along with a couple of nosy secret policemen. Polly and Duke grumble about their living conditions and the harsh winter weather, but they both recognize that it's exactly what Rocky requires. For the two warriors, serious training begins in earnest, despite the fact that their approaches differ. Drago, who is constantly monitored by computers and is always attached to electrodes, works out with steel and chrome equipment like a machine that responds to the flick of a switch. When ordered, he throws punches at breakneck speed. Rocky, on the other hand, makes do with whatever is available. He climbs rope, does pull-ups on wooden beams, jogs past Russian peasants, and drags a rock-filled sled up the side of a mountain. He's almost ready, but he's gone. When Adrian unexpectedly shows up to support him emotionally, his heart is restored, and he is back to his physical and emotional best. The Soviet arena is packed with sports commentators from around the world. Kremlin officials, interested spectators, and, above all, tension. The entire world is watching, waiting to see who will win World War III, Rocky, Polly, or Duke. Jerry Drago and Rimsky are cheered as they exit the arena to the sounds of booing. The Russian national anthem is played, and the referee instructs the men and sends them to their respective corners. It feels like all hell is about to break loose as the bell approaches. Rocky nods to Adrian and removes his rope as he notices her in the front row. The crowd erupts when they see his red, white, and blue trunks. Drago is unimpressed by the same ones Creed used to wear. The bell rings, and the two dash forward. Rocky throws some punches early on, but Drago quickly gets on top of him. Rocky is using all of the skills he learned from Mickey and Creed to withstand the onslaught of fists. Drago can't believe anyone can still be standing after such a beating, and his self-esteem crumbles. Rocky scores round after round, a fantastic hit on his opponent's face causing him to bleed for the first time, breaking down more of his resolve. By the 14th round, the fight has become more intense. Both combatants are bruised and wounded, but neither is willing to back down. The crowd is now wildly cheering for Rocky as the two return to their respective corners. Rimsky is disgusted by Drago and, for all intents and purposes, deserts him. The bell rings once more, and the two men emerge from their corners. Rocky, on the other hand, appears to be dead on his feet. Drago lands crushing blow after crushing blow on him. Rocky's name is chanted by the audience. Suddenly, Rocky comes to life and slams into the behemoth, knocking him down and eventually out. The audience loses their minds. Adrian runs up to her husband, kissing him, and says, "I'm so proud of you." Polly pulls out an American flag and drapes it around his friend's shoulders, as adoring fans rush into the ring to lift Rocky onto their shoulders, crowning him world champion. The end. We really appreciate you watching. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell because it is really important for us. Thank you.